Yesterday is gone, and you've accumulated naught. Unless you are in Jesus, pretty soon you will be caught. Yesterday is gone, and though you have done much, though you have trained well, and obeyed the world as such, unless you are in Jesus, upon your flesh demise, the only measurement that matters is your coffin size. So come to Jesus right and quick, and unto Jesus ever stick. Cling to him as underling, for he comes to fight for you right quick. They oppress and they do mess. They persecute and sabotage. They come against all Israel with attitude and hell's barrage. The time is short, the end is near. So unto Jesus Christ do steer. For when I was a younger man, I was strong. I said, I can, but now there are things that I can't do. There are many, not a few. Well, though my days are numbered here, unto Jesus I have steered. Singing alone, it's more a poem, for in the Lord is my true home. I'm speaking verse for Israel, for we suffer here, but in heaven dwell. Our souls, our spirits, they are there. Forevermore the Lord will spare those who come to him in faith. They will avoid devil and wraith. They will be with the Lord on high. Forever will be satisfied. I speak for Israel, heaven's people, spirit dwell. We dwell in Jesus, he's on high. He's the great Lord there above the sky. For there is an Israel on earth. But what is its true spirit worth? The spirit worth of men is found when Jesus will touch down on ground. He'll come back, but he'll not sack. He'll have a seat of judgment. Thwack upon the heads of those who hunt, of those who shunt and dunt the runt. But they will find the black sheep runs much faster than they can, outruns their guns. For the angels up above us here have supernatural power there. And when they come here, and when they land, they'll deliver Israel in hand. Man, I'm tired of this war between Russia and Ukraine. Pray for peace. I wish there was no war in Russia. I wish there was no war at all. I wish there was no battle. I wish there was no brawl. I wish there was no death to man, but it is much better for man to leave this wicked world than serve the worst upsetter. Russia loses, Ukraine wins, and Russia leaves. Russia stays, Ukraine demise, but hell will rise. It must come. It must show face. The wars and rumors, their disgrace. They're divisive, and they prey upon the nations. They do sway. They present a war afar to keep the gold within their jar. They say, we can't do it. There's a crisis there. Far abroad. We cannot spare. It interferes with paths of trade, for they do bomb and they do raid. But really, devils orchestrate. They fill their tanks to steal from plate. But the fallout and the flow, ramifications farther go. That which is in Israel is physical. Up there we dwell. The true Israel of God above is one of spirit, one of love. It's not a physical reside. It's not a place that thieves can hide. It's a place that only love and peace and joy, abundance of, can remain and reside. And over that, God will preside. So is the war real or is it fake? They really suffer, but for what sake? They orchestrate to demonstrate political views and empty plate, philosophies and principles to conquer minds and hearts. Hell's cosmic powers and principles, they orchestrate the parts. They lure men to the hell of fire. They lure men to the world. They lure men to the flesh desire and to be downward hurled. So whether gun comes pointed here, or whether blade here steers, I will not be running far, for I have here no fears. A war here, peace o'er there. Here is battle, so beware. Facade of peace, pretense of joy, fits right in to evil ploy. There's only joy and love on high. So that's where you should fix your eye. Blessings. Hope you enjoyed the bit of poetry. Hope you enjoyed the bit of poetry. War is bad, but a lot of it is orchestrated to control the rest of the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I can make a war happen over there, I can control the input of their glare. I can tell them what they see, for they see it not themselves. They rely on me, the media that swells. For I control what you can see. It's me who orchestrate. I impart knowledge to thee. It's I who demonstrate. This is what they say who run the media, indeed. For their horse is power of air, communicated greed. They use the war and impacts of the fallout of the fight to change the political scenery to well-functioning smite. They want the systems that have worked to be squashed underfoot, so they can now publicly pervert. And tell the people that it's right. They can tell you that it's right if they clean it up inside. They can tell you that it's good if they put evil as good. For Jesus said inside his word, and no, it's not absurd, that in the latter days they'll say evil's good and good is evil, and that'll be their word. So, for example, people in the media are the Amalekites. The people in the media are the fake Jews. The Bible says they are those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. They're the ones who control the media. So whether a war is actually happening or whether it's just a rumor that the media has made up to control people's perspectives, to influence the political atmospheres and environments internationally, they will use it, whether it's real or fake, for that sake, for that end, to restructure. And they've always done that. They've used political I would say political viewpoints and speakers, politicians, to misrepresent what's happening on the basis of the orchestration, to influence what people will allow to occur in their own nation. Right? So, for example, if trade is flowing freely on the path between nations, things are functioning well. Think about the one who wants to conquer souls. Where does frustration dwell? If things flow freely, if things flow well, where does frustration dwell? So the one who's trying to conquer heart must block the roadways swell. So that's what the devil does. He puts something on the roadway to block its flow. But he doesn't need to roadside go. So rumor fits to fool the ones, to trick the people without guns. See the point? So everybody else who's not involved in this war, or this rumor of the war, are much more likely to accept the lie that there's been an interference with the flow of trade as a result of the war, which causes what? Frustration. Why? Because this trade route is affected and this trade route is affected, so there's a lack of this and a lack of the other. And now the people who are in political positions for the building of infrastructure for the well-functioning and common good of the nations, which is the unity of the family ultimately, are much more likely to believe that this war over there, over in another nation, Ukraine and Russia, or whatever it happens to be at the time, has affected in some way the infrastructures of this nation by way of trade or cost, increase of expense. So that those who are corrupting systems and siphoning wealth can have the appearance of an excuse for so doing. There's a deficit because of something out of our control, you know. So long as they can present that facade, then they're much more likely to be able to work with impunity. Why? Because you think that they're justified in what they're saying because you've been told there's a war somewhere, and that war is affecting the trade route and the political environments that affect your country directly or indirectly. But either way, it affects you. So that's why there are rumors of wars. Rumors of wars exist to manipulate people all around. That's why they lie about wars. That's why there are these instigatory circumstances. Twin Towers, Pearl Harbor. These instances which were seen to be the provocation or the commencement of a war. And you don't know, no more than I do, by own fact, this is all second-hand information, whether China actually attacked the Americans at all. Or Japan or whoever attacked them at Pearl Harbor. Or Korea, whoever. Doesn't matter. The point is that it was a good excuse to start a war. Sorry, Japan attacked them. I thought it was Japan. Japan attacked them at Pearl Harbor. And that's what they said anyway. But these things, like, the one who wins the war writes the history, and the one who has power over the media. Do you know? You see, secret societies are involved in the manipulation and orchestration of all world events. They play a role behind the scenes at levels of authority and rank which you wouldn't be aware of. So secret societies are societies within societies. There's individuals who are members of societies within countries' political structures which manipulate their position within those structures to bring about the agenda of the secret society they serve. You see? So Freemasonry is one of these societies. Freemasons can exist on both sides of a war, orchestrating and manipulating its outcome. They're manipulators. And they serve the demons. They serve the devil. They're provokers. They can provoke a war. But fundamentally, the reason they provoke war is not just to kill people. It's to change the political infrastructure, to exact their goal and agenda, and to appear to have some impunity or excuse for not providing. Why? Because by neglect, more harm is done more quickly than by gun. Neglect is more harmful to a nation than the gun. Neglecting to build infrastructure is more harmful and detrimental to a country on a spiritual level than the gun. And Satan's after conquering souls, not bodies. Not so much bodies as souls. Because you can't get access to your body until he conquers your soul. So he's after souls first, and conquering souls comes by frustration. Frustrating men, to demoralize and to humanize them. And so those frustrations come by blocking the roadways. Oh, it's out of our control. The roadway is blocked. What can we do? When they're the ones who sent the boys down to block the roadway. Oh, but it's blocked. You see the point? So they're all working together. They're the thug. They're the street gang, and they're the politician. They're the president, and they're the mafia. They're the policeman, and they're the drug dealer. Freemasons are in all walks of life. And the bottom line is for them, bring about the agenda. Bring about the new world order, where the devil is at the top and all world systems serve him politically and religiously. And that will be the abomination of desolation, and that will be the end. But it must come about before it can end, right? It's to come to pass. So I would just, this was to address what Dale said about the Ukrainian-Russian war. Praying about these things is one thing, and we should pray for the safety of the people. But the inevitability of wars and rumours of wars cannot be avoided, because the end goal must come to pass. That will be ultimately brought about by way of these sorts of manipulations of hell. Evil must come into the world, because evil will consume itself. Do you see how it works now? The world is not for peace. Peace will never come to this world, but in the form of Jesus Christ. That's the point. Japan might have attacked America, but do you know who sent them? Do you see the point I'm making to you? Freemasons are at high level and low level. The top of society and the bottom of society function on the same principles. Remember that. They just talk with different accents. Don't let that fool you. So blessings in Jesus' name. Holy kiss.